My fiancé betrayed me. Hello. My name is Elowen. I am 27 years old. I am from Croatia. I work as a kindergarten teacher, and I am here today to share my story about my ex-fiancé who cheated on me. When I was 23, so 3 years ago, I met my fiancé Bruno. We were introduced by our mutual friend, and from the first moment that I saw him, I felt this crazy connection between us. He was the most handsome man in the world. Well, at least for me he was. And I remember I told my friend, I said, I think I am in love with him. And she just smiled and she said, don't be silly. You don't know him. But the next day, we went on our first date and everything changed. It was just perfect. We talked for hours and hours. We had so much in common. Both of us loved traveling, trying new food, meeting new people. So after 2 months of dating, he proposed and I said yes. I mean, it all happened so fast, but I was so in love with him. I couldn't wait to marry him. We started planning our wedding. It was going to be in a small village where he grew up. Both of our families were excited, and they couldn't wait to celebrate with us. But then 1 month before the wedding, everything changed. One morning, I woke up and I found a message on his phone. It was a message from some girl. He was saying, I miss you so much. Can't wait to see you again, and stuff like that. Of course, I asked him who that was, and he was like, oh, that's just a friend from work. Nothing, he said. Just don't even worry about it, he said. But I was worried. I could feel that there was something going on. But then he convinced me that there was nothing going on between him and this girl. And we just continued with the wedding preparation. And the day before the wedding, his family came to my city. They were staying there in a hotel. We were having dinner together, his parents, his brother, his grandmother, and me. And we were all talking about how happy we are that finally the wedding is coming. And then Bruno's father, he raised his glass and he said a little speech. He was thanking everyone for coming and for supporting his son and for being with him on this special day. And then I think he noticed that I was kind of sad because I was looking down. So he said, Elowen, you don't have to worry about anything. We are so happy that you are marrying our son. We know how much you love each other, he said. So don't cry. Be happy. Enjoy this night. Then he gave me a big hug. And afterwards I felt so much better. Then we all went out and we celebrated until late at night. We were dancing, we were drinking, we were laughing. I was so happy to have such an amazing family. The next day was the wedding. Everything was perfect. The ceremony, the reception, everything. It was just a dream come true. I looked so beautiful in my white dress. Bruno looked so handsome in his suit. Our families and friends, they were all celebrating with us. And I remember I told my mom, I said, Mom, I am the happiest girl in the world. This is the best day of my life. And then I turned around, and I saw Bruno. He was looking at me and smiling. And in that moment, I knew that I will love him forever. I knew that I made the right decision by marrying him. We spent our honeymoon in a small village in Italy. It was just a small house with a beautiful garden and a swimming pool. And we had the best time there. We were laying on the beach. We were swimming in the pool. We were eating gelato. We were drinking wine. Just enjoying our time together. And I remember one evening when the sun was setting. We were walking along the beach, and we were holding hands. And I was thinking to myself, wow, I am so lucky to have him in my life. I am so lucky to be his wife. I remember I turned to him and I said, Bruno, I love you so much. I will never cheat on you. I will never lie to you. I will always be honest with you. And he looked into my eyes and he said, I love you too, Elowen. You are my wife, and I will never hurt you. And then he kissed me, and it was the most romantic kiss in the world. After our honeymoon, we moved in together. and everything seemed to be perfect. We had a beautiful house, a beautiful garden. I loved taking care of the garden. I planted so many flowers and vegetables. And I remember one evening when I was sitting in the garden and I was watering the flowers, Bruno came to me and he put his arm around my shoulder and he said, "You are so beautiful when you are doing this. You are like a real farmer girl." And I just smiled and I said, "I like it." And he said, "I love you so much, Elowen. I am so lucky to have you as my wife." And then he kissed me. And it was just like that. Every day we told each other how much we loved each other. Every day we were showing each other how much we appreciated each other. And then one day, everything changed. It was a Tuesday evening. Bruno was supposed to come home at 4 p.m., but he was late. So I called him and I asked, "Where are you? Are you on your way home?" And he said, "No, I am sorry, love. I am working late. I have to work overtime, I guess. So don't wait for me. Just order yourself something to eat and go to bed early. Okay?" And I said, "Okay, honey." And I hung up. At 9 p.m., he still wasn't home. So I called him again, and I said, "Are you almost there? Should I get something to eat for you?" And he said, No, I am sorry, love. But I can't come home tonight. I have to stay late at work. I'm sorry," he said. And then he hung up. At midnight, I was getting worried. I tried calling him again, but his phone was off. So I took my keys, and I went to his work. When I got there, I saw his car. So I thought maybe he was inside working. So I went in, and I asked the boss if Bruno was there. And the boss said, "No, he left 1 hour ago. He said that he was going to his mother's house because his father wasn't feeling well." Then I went outside and I called Bruno's father. I asked if everything was okay and why Bruno didn't come. And his father said, "He isn't coming. I called him in the morning, but he didn't pick up. And then I called him again at 8 p.m., but his phone was off. Why don't you ask him yourself?" And then I heard my father-in-law say to someone, "Tell her that he is not coming because he is with me. He went to his mother's house because I had a heart attack, and now he is taking care of me." So after hearing that, I felt so humiliated and stupid because I drove all the way there thinking that something bad happened to him, thinking that maybe I should take him to the hospital, but he was just at his father's house all this time. I went home crying. I didn't want to tell my family what really happened because I didn't want them to worry. I didn't want them to think that something bad happened to Bruno. So I just told them that I had a fight with him and that I needed some time alone. The next day, Bruno came home late again. I didn't say anything. I just asked him why he didn't come home last night and why he lied to me. And he started making excuses and saying that he had to work overtime and that his boss kept him there. But I wasn't buying it anymore. So I started asking him more questions. And that's when he told me that he was at his father's house. And then I told him what his father told me. I told him that his father called me last night because he had a heart attack, and that he was there all the time taking care of his dad. And then Bruno's face, it went pale. He started stuttering. He couldn't talk. And then he just left the room. I was so angry, so betrayed, so sad. I didn't know what to do. After that, we didn't talk for 2 days. I was waiting for him to explain everything. But he didn't say anything. And then I asked him for an explanation. I said, "What really happened, Bruno? Why did you lie to me?" And he just hugged me, and he started crying. And then he told me everything. He told me that his father called him last night and told him that he had a heart attack and that he needed him at home. But Bruno was late coming home because he was with another woman. He said that he was seeing this woman for a few months already. He said that he was so sorry, that he never wanted to hurt me, that he loves me, that he wanted to marry me. But I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't understand how could he treat me like this. How could he lie to me like this? Well, In the end, we broke up. He said that he needed some time to think about what he wants. Of course, I told him to go and figure his life out. I didn't want to hold him back. I didn't want to be with a man who cheated on me. And today, 1 year later, he is still with that other woman. I found someone new. I am still in love with Bruno, but I know that I deserve someone better. Someone who loves me as much as I love him. Someone who would never cheat on me. Thank you for listening to my story.